A message from the creator. I want any diabetic that plays this game to remember something. ... You have diabetes.
Oh my god! What?
Whoa!
Did you know that, Jax?
I didn't.
Oh my god!
Yeah, show me 6 inches, Cole.
That's 6 inches right there.
Thank you for showing me your 6 inches.
This is how long it can be. This seems weird now. I'm gonna put this away.
Just go ahead and do the intro, Cole. Go ahead. You got it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Even Though Nobody Asked. My name is Nestani.
Markiplier.
Wow, you really beefed that. You didn't hit any of the words or anything in that one. That was tough.
I don't know what.
Yeah,
I kind of just wait.
Even though nobody asked, we delivered. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. My name is Nestani.
I am Jaxler.
My name is DECosmic.
And I'm Coley. Is everything okay?
Why did he wait for so long?
You left me hanging there, man.
He was in a Resident Evil hallway right there. That was crazy.
I heard the FNAF
bro had IRL
ambience.
Figured it was more dramatic.
Oh yeah, more dramatic than
dramatic.
whatever
It
the
caught my
fuck
attention.
Cole did at the beginning of this podcast. That was tough. I was not good.
What was he
And speaking
I
of
was trying to
tough
be
and
practical.
people that don't have 6 inches, super. What is this about? I don't even know how to pitch it. Go ahead. There's drama, big drama.
Yeah,
that's my pitch.
But basically, in Mario 64, obviously, or not Mario 64, Mario 1, Super Mario Brothers 1. I'm so used to saying just Super Mario 64. Anytime we talk about Mario, it's just assumed to be Mario 64 on this podcast.
Green
so I just kind of
We're talking about Mario.
And muscle memory just betrayed me. But anyway, so in Super Mario Brothers 1, okay, that game is 4 to 10 frames off of actually being perfect to the task.
Tied to the task.
Yeah, tied to the task. And there are a few people that are working on this, chief among them being Niftsky. He has been regularly tying the tasks on quite a few levels. Ones that he doesn't have in his PB, I think it's 8.4 is the big one that he was working. Yeah, the big one that he was working on. And for a long time, you've only been allowed to, or at least there's been a soft ban on this. You've only been allowed to use one input method during the run. Which
I think they allowed it, and then the drama.
So I'm getting to that. So
yeah, you're good.
It was I guess at some point when they started using MU, people started using keyboard and everything. But there's also you can use obviously a NES controller. But I think up until pretty recently, it was either you just use one or the other. And then for a while they were allowing people to swap between keyboard and controller. But you were only allowed to use one non-controller peripheral and one controller peripheral. So you couldn't have a certain controller for one section of the game, another controller for another section of the game, one keyboard for one section of the game, and then another keyboard for another section of the game.
And you could only use one at a time. You could
only use one at a
wield.
time, yeah, otherwise you'd be able to do left and right at the same time and shit. Or whatever, because I know that screws up some retro games. I think that Soten is a pretty big example of that, the left right simultaneous kind of fucks things up in that game, which is why it's banned. But Nifsky, with the allowance of using both keyboard and controller, was starting to really grind out 8.4 especially, and his consistency on tying the tasks had gone up exponentially is what he kind of made it seem like. Or at least it went up significantly enough that he felt the input method swapping was helping him out, and it was going to help a lot in the progression of the game to get to that perfect state, which I don't actually know if there's another game out there that's really nearing the perfect run / dead status. So the fact of the matter is that I guess it was starting to, at least Nifsky kind of insinuated this in his video, was that this progress that he was making was starting to intimidate some runners, particularly, at least he alleges anyway. I'm not going to say alleged or put a bunch of qualifiers. I just know that this is
We're going to
alleged,
state everything
basically,
as facts, and we are correct.
That's true too. I'm dropping the bombs
we're
now, you know.
Yeah.
Group.
So the current world record holder of Verge 11, Nifsky basically says in his video Verge was like intimidated by or at least wanted to bar him from making it more progress towards the TAS tie, because obviously Verge, having gotten SMB1 world record at this point, like in any percent, is now having a lot of praise showered on them, I'd imagine. And they're a pretty young person. They seem so anyway. I watched like one of their PDs.
Teenager, probably.
They seem quite young.
Age.
Yeah, and I don't actually know how old Nifsky is, but if he's still on his parents' insurance, then he's young to me.
Sure.
But the issue basically is that there was a vote to reverse the rule change to allow you to, or to not allow you to swap controller and keyboard methods or input methods anymore.
Why? Seems very artificial.
We're getting to that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a good instinct.
Yeah.
It's a good
And
instinct.
basically-
You can do that if you want. You can play a level on
Yeah.
keyboard and switch to controller. No one cares.
There are actually multiple games kind of where this is not really a point of contention, because if you are using an additional peripheral, it is up to you to have a setup that enables you to do that. Not only
Great
from
example.
like
Mario 64.
yeah,
Hori
they use
time.
it for the
Swap
Bowser
controllers for
throws.
Bowser throws.
Yeah, they
Yep.
go to Hori most of the time to save their sticks.
I was actually going to say, like, I think that for a while in Titanfall 2, there was like the possibility of switching between both being considered. Or at least
in
maybe
one
people
point
do
in its
that.
history.
Yeah, because I mean, for a little while, because one of the examples for like not allowing keyboard inputs to be mapped as analog or one way or the other around, that was disallowed, I believe. And the idea was if you are able to use both controller and keyboard, then that's on you to like, because that's up to you to have that set up proper. But the game or like a mod or something doing the work for you in this case is not what they were about. And that's also kind of a similarly optimized game to like some of the higher end speedruns, so it makes sense. But in the case of SMB1, it seems that from the evidence gathered in Nifsky's video, and I use evidence at least a little loosely because Discord screenshots are a bit of a gray area until you really have somebody like going into a Discord on their desktop and showing it to you live.
Yeah.
There is a possibility of
come on
misinformation. Yeah. There is a possibility of like some things being like, doctored essentially. But I'm going to take for the purposes of this story, I'll take Nifsky at his word and we'll just go with, okay, this is factual what's being shown here. Because it's not particularly malicious, I don't think, and none of the screenshots are, I would say, damning to the point where I would think that any of these people are bad people. It's just drama over a video game. And it's teenagers or young people acting like young people at the end of the day. But it seems like,
at least within the confines of the video itself, there's
at least
another
within the
doc
confines
linked
of the
in the
video
description as well. Of allegations and screenshots with regards to Verge and some of Verge's friend group doxing people using slurs like the F slur.
See, that's I didn't know about.
I mean, that's just
yes.
par for the course in Mario Land, right?
Yeah.
They love their slurs.
And sometimes
over
things that, and sometimes
Not
things
GTM
they're
though.
two separate
GTM's cool.
documents.
It's not directed at
Yeah,
him.
there's kind of two. There's kind of two separate documents. There's one with the stuff related to Nifsky's video with the basically trying to manipulate people allegedly to vote in a certain behavior or trying to manipulate community opinion, and also just
They're
other
rigging the
toxicity
vote.
as it relates.
We need to take away their voting rights.
I
It's
love
basic. It is
democracy.
basically just a matter of like manipulating a vote to get this thing banned. And it seems that the underlying cause being implied here is that Verge does not want Nifsky to make more progress on SMB1 world record and get closer to tying.
Because
Wow, I've never had
Verge
any
wants to
experience
get
with
the
something
test
like
tie
this
first.
before.
Yep.
True.
You
Truth
totally
nuke.
haven't.
No, never actually.
Never. I mean, I don't know what y'all's thoughts on this is, but like, my opinion kind of summarized is that like they are so far away at this point from playing on like intended hardware on SMB1 that
Yeah.
like they're playing on emulator and they're playing on keyboard.
Yeah.
This is quite far and away
From the
not the environment
the SES controller, right? Yeah.
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 It's quite far and away the environment from where it's intended to be, you know?
Yeah.
This is a conversation that I think every retro game, which now includes the PS2 and probably almost the PS3, but anyway,
Probably the Wii.
at this point,
Yeah.
this is a conversation that everybody
And the
kind of is
Nintendo
going to have
Switch.
to have eventually, you know? Is
Not quite
that
yet.
this is kind of where things are headed when pretty much everything is emulated. We're privileged in not having to have this discussion yet because there's the home environment is still mostly intact.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man, when you're playing on like an RGB keyboard on an emulator for SMB1 and you have like an auto splitter and all that sort of stuff going on, I think that you're far enough removed from the home turf of that game that bringing in other variables like switching input methods, because now I think the goal should just be let's tie the TAS.
Yeah.
I think that honestly, that is no matter who gets it, that is a achievement of like humans to tie a task and
Is
achieve.
wild.
Yeah, the perfect run is like on the levels of like that Tetris Rebirth shit that we talked about many episodes ago. And I think that it is quite unfortunate that there are people who want to be the person that is doing it, that they're losing sight of like, because we're not talking about like even seconds of difference between you and somebody else, or even like minutes.
Frames.
You know,
It's frames.
we're talking about like 4 to 10 frames here. You know, and that is just so weird to me. And there's not going to be, I mean, indirectly, there's monetary compensation for this because I'm sure whoever
There's bounties.
achieves this, I'm sure, there's bounties. I'm sure also whoever achieves this live is going to get showered with a lot of glazing and dick sucking, although glazing implies it's
They're
not
gonna be
earned, which
bouncing
it would
on
be
it, bro.
earned.
They're gonna
Yeah, people are going to be
No
actually
hand
spinning
style.
on it and
Full
doing
on
tricks.
crazy work.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's going to be
Fucking
Let's
kick
go.
flips
style.
all day. So it's like, I mean, I get it to some extent because like money's cool too, and you getting like money for speed running is
Yeah.
also pretty cool.
You should tell that the
But at the
Ouija.
same time, like it's not like somebody's going to get this in one shot. There are going to be people that, because you're just going to inch closer to it every time somebody PBs. And so at least some of that reward is going to be shared, right? It's not going to be like somebody just gets that other 10 frames in one run. The margin of error is literally that, just like 10
Yeah.
frames or whatever. So I think it's pretty stupid, and it's just kind of indicative of like people whose frontal lobe hasn't developed at all.
Oh yeah, it's the,
You know,
just
like-
even just looking at the Nifsky video, just like the immaturity on display.
Yeah,
I think is what really got to me, and it's really
really
frustrating
it.
to see people of that maturity level in positions of power. Because like a lot of the people on the SMB1 mod team were friends of Verge, this person
Yeah.
who allegedly orchestrated all of this and
Mm-hmm.
has this extreme hate boner for Nifsky, which I like. I don't get it, and I like Nestani said, I see parallels to his situation in the past where it's just like it's so immature. It just like.
Yeah. There's
I
the
mean,
unfortunate thing
it doesn't
is about
matter who get like it's one of those who gives a fuck type of things,
Yeah.
right? Like I know there's money involved. I like
Well,
This
I
is
know
the
who
thing,
cares.
right, is that-
It's that guy.
it.
that
it
guy
is,
cares.
and it's
In-
An
it's a
outside
mature
perspective, it's a
situation-
little bit different.
In Nestani's situation, it makes even less sense because it's not like people are going to that game for careers, right? At least you
Well,
have,
except for one of us.
at least you have SMB1 like making careers, bro. Like I'm sure the amount of attention that a Verge has gotten has probably just ballooned their head out quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because that game is nothing short of prestigious. Probably one of the most prestigious like in speedrunning right now. Like that's a game that everybody knows, man. Like even if you even if you don't play video games, you know what Super Mario Brothers is.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that it's so close to perfection is also another thing.
That's also
but it's
just cool.
It's a
on
cool
like a-
video game. Yeah, I mean the fact that there's like multiple frame perfect tricks in a row, like on every level, basically,
Yeah.
pretty sick. But it's one of those things where like I am reminded continuously that leadership is best done by people that are hesitant to do it, but the reason that, you know, people that are not hesitant to abuse that power are there in the first place because they want to be there. And
Yeah,
so if somebody
it's the same thing with politicians. Positions of power attract power-hungry people.
yeah, exactly. So the best thing to do is have somebody that's like, man, I don't want to fucking be here, but they're going to make a better decision because they are not hungry to reach out for that next morsel.
Well,
of
they also
power.
don't directly benefit from the outcome.
Exactly. Yeah. This is why oftentimes I think it's actually also better to have like not all top players be mods on a board. I think that as long as somebody has the knowledge and the wherewithal, I mean, there is something to be said, right, of knowing the difference in just looking at and experiencing and like applying that thing or that like knowledge that you've done versus just knowing it. Because like, you know, I've seen some things in games that I've played, right, to at least a high level where I go, that looks wrong, right? Because I know what right looks like because I've done it, you know, but at the same time, I could teach somebody else a Devil May Cry game and go, this is how this looks, right? And then they could probably get decent enough at it too, where they're like, yeah, that looks right. And then they probably can infer what the top level looks like from there. So when something even seems off, like even if a walk cycle seems off, they can identify something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's really like you do need more role players on your mod team because there has to be some sort of counterbalance. Because as Jaxler said, if you continuously benefit from leadership decisions that are made due to your position in the community, then everybody's just out to dry, man. Like there has to be people making these decisions that aren't going to directly benefit from being like a top runner. You know, it is not going to, because if you have somebody that's like, if you have like a 25th place Andy, right? They're like, man, I am probably never breaking top 10. So it's not going to like hinder or advance them in the competition at all. So they're probably at least more likely to be like, let's think about this a little bit more nuanced. It's just really a shame that,
or like even community organizers or like tournament organizers. Like there was one thing I saw in the video that kind of alarmed me a little bit as well, where they were trying to, for in-person like events like the classic. I think it's the same place where they do like the classic World Tetris Championship. They have like a Mario Bros competition there as well.
Oh, that's
and there was like a screen grab in there of like trying to get a vote going for allowing keyboard at these like in-person events with like an adapter for on console hardware runs. And part of that was brought up because that was a rule change. Like that would be a rule change that would only really at the highest level benefit a Verge.
Yep.
But now on the flip side, it's like this other, ruling decision really only targets Nifsky. So it's like okay in one direction, but not the other. It's like
that was
so gross.
That was another thing that really irked me was that like my opinion is that like if you're gonna be against shit like this, it's gotta go both ways, man.
You have to be consistent with it.
Yeah, you have to be consistent.
And that was one of the things that came up in the video is that there's evidence that a Verge wasn't initially against this input swapping stuff and even had plans to set up and try it themselves and then other things like that. And it wasn't really until, like you said, Nifsky was making that progress where the evidence suggests that a Verge really had a problem with it. Now, is that because it's a skill issue and like a Verge couldn't replicate that level of success with the tech?
Now that I don't know. I honestly, because my thought is that if you're good enough at SMB1 to get world record in it, you're probably good enough at multiple types of inputs to get there eventually. I have to think that I don't really know what to think, honestly, there. I don't really think it's indicative of anything. I think it's just maybe them fucking with him, honestly. Because I don't think that I think that either of those two players are more than capable of using multiple like peripherals to get the mostly perfect run. You know, I don't think that there's any reason to assume that a Verge couldn't do this, which again makes it kind of even stranger, because then it is like definitely a vendetta thing, where it is just to make sure that Nifsky's.
It's also like, if it's that OP, why don't you do it? Like what? Like what are we talking about? Like that's just where I'm kind of just coming from. Where like, it's just like if this thing is OP, like you say it is, use it.
Yeah.
And if you don't use it and you refuse to use it because you're a pussy, then just be a pussy and not do it, and then be like, oh, I could do this without it. And you can have your own personal thoughts about like whatever you think about it, but like changing a rule change so that you have a higher percentage chance of doing it, so you don't have to put in the same amount of work that someone else did to, because let's not get it twisted. Learning a game with a different control set is a lot more time than if you just played on the one control set. So you have to relearn the skill and you have to redo everything. Now, obviously, it's probably a little bit different in that game, but still, on any game in any level, you have to learn another. That's inherently a disadvantage. So he was at a disadvantage for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, however long it takes for you to grind up that, even if it's for a couple levels and not for like the whole run.
Yeah.
You're still
I had a similar thing with
wasting
Vax.
time doing that, right? And that's like, so I think even as a principle, it's just like, that's whack. And then also, if it was really that OP, wouldn't more people do it? Or wouldn't you do it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do it, then just say that you don't want to, you know what I mean? Then like, if you don't want to do the OP thing, that's not my problem, or like Nifsky's problem, or whoever's person's problem. If you don't want to do the OP
really a
thing.
mentality. It's a mentality diff.
Yeah.
Is the way I read it. It's just like a Verge person just has like fucking, what's the opposite of monk mental? Is it just like fucking hypochondriac mental? Like, I don't know.
Hypochondriac.
I don't know.
Mitochondria mental? I don't know, dude.
Cole, but I'm curious. You mentioned earlier, Cole, that you kind of lurked around in the Mario servers a little bit. Did you notice anything interesting in your time in there?
So
or this discussion around this?
It was actually kind of funny. So I watched half the video, and then I was like, wait, I have a great idea. What if I go into the Discord right now and see what's going on? And so I went to the SRC page. I was, there's a Discord link. Boop. And then I entered this server, and it's every like Super Mario Bros. Thing. Like there's Super Mario Bros. And the Lost World or whatever, or like it's technically levels. 2 in Japan or whatever. Every text channel was not highlighted except the general chat. And it was very funny because there's like the time before the video, it was people going like, "Oh, I like cheeseburgers and stuff," and then like it just was an insane wave of like garbage, and it was like several people are typing, and I was just like, "This is very funny." And then you see people that, I mean, I'm kind of just being an asshole right now, but it's very funny because I mean, people care about this, but they got profile pictures like The Rock with like the like MLG sunglasses on, saying like trying to call people out, and like it's like we got all these crazy ass profile pictures. I'm like, holy shit!
Oh shit!
A lot of new people joined the server though, which I don't know what that means, but like so many people with like
you did.
With the
they
green,
just want to read.
like. No, but they are typing. They're like trying to get into the conversation, and they're like new to the server, and I'm like,
do that.
Oh, they're just making it about themselves. Okay, I see.
They're dumb, but But I learned some information that is in the video. Like I learned it in the server when people were talking about it, because I guess
because some of those messages were in public channels of like a Verge allegedly being toxic and.
Yeah, and so in all honesty, I really didn't glean anything except for the fact that it's like a civil war in there. Like I feel like that there's people that are definitely Team Nifsky, and then there's people that are Team Verge. And like some of the stuff later in the video, I found out in the Discord server, like Verge was like used to date one of the mod team members or something, and that was sort of like they're in or whatever. And so then when I read that, where it was like, yeah, we used to date, but we didn't date during the like vote and like all this other stuff, and I was like,
Nah.
wait, you guys dated? Hold on, this is crazy. But no, I didn't really glean anything from it, and of course it did remind me of previous experiences that I have also witnessed with my own eyes. But I think just the thing about situations like this is I feel like this is what happens when you make something your entire identity, or you make one particular thing your entire life. And that can get very dangerous. And it seems from the information that I have seen from the video and from the server that there are certainly a person or people in the community that in the Mario community that do kind of think that way. And so I think at the end of the day, you know, it's like, it makes sense at a human level. Like, everybody's kind of looking out for themselves, and they're thinking mostly about themselves. And, and sometimes even the actions that people do, they're not seeing
aware.
things. They're not seeing things as they are. They're seeing them how they're just percepting it wrong. And so they make foolish decisions or do stupid mistakes because of that intuition that has led them so far astray. But it's a very weird, messy, gross situation.
Yeah.
But I am still in the server. I rejoined it. It also seems like that some people changed their usernames, and I wonder if that was on purpose. So then, like, if somebody added their old name, they couldn't or something. But I might be completely wrong about that. I was only paying attention to the goofy profile pictures and not necessarily the names of the people, but
so
they
valid.
could just have like similar looking profile pictures. So, but I don't know.
I don't know. My read as well, kind of building on what you said, is so many times, like, people will, like, give, like, performers or someone who's really good at something a pass on having to grow up just because they're good at that thing. I see it.
Yep.
You see it in Smash, I see it in speedrunning, I see it in pro sports, and so it's just, it's exhausting. It's like, I wish I had a clean way of being like, oh, this is how we avoid this in the future, because it's one of those kind of things where you kind of just have to hope that the right people are in place to kind of shut that sort of shit down. But even then, in a community like Mario, it's so big that it's like, it's kind of hard to hold the reins or even steer the ship properly. So it's not like I'm completely judging everyone and everything, but it's like,
it also doesn't help that behavior like that. It's sort of like starts getting out of hand slowly over time. Like, because I assume that like a Verge has been around for a while, or whoever's causing ruckus in that game.
Yeah.
Like, they've been around for a while, and so if you consider how they act to be like a garden, there's some weeds that pop up, and over time you just sort of ignore those weeds, or you don't pay attention to them, and then they get overgrown and completely out of control.
I'll do that laundry later.
And eventually,
I'll clean those dishes later.
Yeah,
and then, all of a sudden
then
you
it
have a
just
messy
builds
ass
up into something that it's like you can't even really uproot it or anything like that. But that's what I don't really
it
like
just
about
is the yard at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it also doesn't help that speedrunning inherent, especially in a game like this where you spend just copious amounts of hours playing the game over and over again. You're bound, like, it is. There ain't no way you're gonna take shit more personally than you otherwise would. Like, especially if
it's a human instinct. Yeah.
Yeah, like it. I mean, you can definitely. There's people who are more mature at it than others, but I feel like personally, that's why I never really like competing in that kind of way, or really competing in speedrunning, because the one time that I ever did it, I didn't like it. I didn't like how I reacted to it. I didn't like it at all. I just didn't want to deal with that, and I was like, this isn't fun.
I mean, that's part of the reason I run the games that I run, because sometimes I run into a similar thing where it's just like I have these negative thoughts or emotions that just feel really gross and not in a way where I could leverage it right? So it's like, oh, I'll run games where there's no one else playing it, so I can just focus on me and not project those emotions on anyone else. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The interesting thing too that Nifsky notes is that he would have to learn alternate key bindings if he were to start tying the task more consistently with keyboard. So this kind of adds an extra layer to all of this. So if he were to go full keyboard, he'd have to relearn.
I think what a lot of people who are in this I want to win mentality realize is that the person who can go the furthest, the fastest is the one with the most available time. And you can't really, it's not a type of competition where you can impact normally the way that someone else competes, right? You are doing your runs, another person's doing their runs. Changing the rules is the only real way to, like, I guess mess with your opponent, if that makes sense, or to directly counterplay what somebody else is doing, right? That doesn't, justify it by it. That's not what I'm trying to say, but
no. But when that it makes sense though, right? It's like,
it is a lever.
You can never gain a competitive advantage in speedrunning. You just can't. Unless you go to their house and punch them. You know what I mean? Which no one's doing that, luckily. There's probably an example of someone doing it.
Yeah.
That would be really funny. I kind of want to know if someone's done that before.
Yeah.
But you can't influence the way someone else is playing, right? And so this whole thing just reeks of, oh, I'm so afraid that I'm going to lose my record and he's going to get to the task first because he's doing a thing that I think deem is better, but I'm not willing to do the thing that I think is better.
Or I'm not good enough to fully utilize it.
Or I'm going to have to put in all this extra work to fucking do this because it might be a 10%, really a 1% better, less than 1% a day. Let's be fucking real. It's probably 0.00 or 1% better. And
this isn't even to make things possible. It's
you still have to frame perfect. Whatever the controller is, it doesn't matter. I feel like we're just I understand that this is the absolute tippity top of peak of speedrun competition.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, a frame perfect input is a frame perfect input. I don't care if you're fucking hitting a fucking gong to control your fucking controller or a keyboard. You know what I mean? Either way, you have to hit it on the perfect frame.
I wasn't ready for the gong, bro.
Nobody's ready for the gong strats, bro.
Either way, you
just
have to,
getting Kane pulled off stage.
Either way, a gong, a fucking keyboard, a fucking Guitar Hero controller, it doesn't matter. It's all the same shit. You know what I mean? And I don't know, because it just reeks of just pussy shit, and then also power tripping. It's just you're a pussy and you're also power tripping, and it's just you should just fuck off. Assuming all
it's
this
entitlement.
is true.
Yeah.
Assuming everything is factual and we're correct.
Yeah.
And there's no new information that drops in a day or two before this episode releases.
Yeah.
It could. Yeah, it could. This is the hot seat really of commenting on current drama, is because we could just
we could be wrong in 3
something else
days
could
when
just
this
come out.
publishes.
It's true.
Which would be really funny.
Hashtag aged like milk. Yeah. That's what we'd had to put on the
and then a verse comes out, he's like,
episode.
actually, Nifsky killed my grandma. And then we were all like, well,
damn. Well, shit.
Although I
We're up with
suppose
a
it's
bazooka, bro.
Sorry guys, no podcast this week. Emergency
we gotta
film Friday afternoon.
That's when I have to add a verge and be like, what does that have to do with Mario though?
But how will this affect LeBron's legacy? But anywho, for the sake of not having to emergency record again on Friday, I guess I will take this opportunity to, unless anyone has anything else they want to add on to the Mario discussion, we can talk about an event that featured a lot of Mario, which was the GDQ stage at PAX East. So I actually this weekend I was at PAX East. GDQ usually does a speedrun stage there, and I got a run in for that. I did Neopets: The Darkest Fairy on Friday at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
And
which category
to my
was it?
surprise, any percent cloak.
Okay.
So the fun round, the fun any percent.
Yeah, the same GDQ.
Thank you.
Round. Yeah.
Yes. So it was really cool as well, partially because it allowed me to essentially record a submission video while also getting to show the game off on stage. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, kill two birds type shit.
Just kill two birds.
Sure.
I like killing two birds.
Yeah.
No one tell my Ahiga.
Avian fans in shambles. The other thing though is like the game hadn't had like a live in person demonstration since like it's been on hotfix like before it was on Fatales obviously when Shy ran the game there. So yeah, huge shout outs. But even within the last couple like of weeks or months, like the game had a lot of evolution and new tricks discovered. Like we skip the puzzle in the endless staircase now. There was a trick called Lucy Pult discovered where you just grav jump off of your little sister's head and go flying out of the bounds within the first like 20 seconds of the run. It's sick. So there's an opportunity to show that off as well. And a big thing with these kind of pack stage events that are a lot different than like other types of speedrunning events, like a GDQ or even like a Midwest Speed Fest, is that the entire convention or event is filled with normies. So I'm not used to playing in front of a crowd like that, right? So even at like 10 a.m., there were people who got up really early because they wanted to be there in the crowd to see it. And you can actually see it in the webcam footage. There was a gal who showed up in cosplay as the Soup Fairy, who is a character from the Neopets website, which was so freaking awesome.
That's so sick, dude.
And like there was just everyone there was like just super excited and were like deliberately there to see it. And you know, I'm not used to things like that or people getting excited over it because a lot of times at like GDQs especially, like a piece of advice everyone will give you is to not be in the stream room as much as possible because there's a bunch of other cool stuff to do there, right? But
well, that's I don't agree with that.
IMO.
A lot of other things to do, yeah.
Right, but that's changed since you've last been to a GDQ. There's more stuff to do there now. There's like an artist alley. There's game devs who have demos there. There's more stuff going on.
Okay, yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that the people who show up like to these like GDQ stages at like PAX, they want to be there.
And they're also non-speedrunners, a lot of them too.
Yeah, and that's like you kind of like, it helps you sort of appreciate like how ridiculous and actually kind of difficult the stuff is you're doing. I think after a while you've been speedrunning and it's just so normal to you that it's like, oh, this isn't a really big deal that I'm doing this, or this isn't really that hard because you've practiced it enough for it to be easy, right? Like there was one person in particular who was like really mad about like the endless staircase skip that I did because they got stuck on it when they were a kid. So they were like, oh my God, I can't believe you're just skipping. You know, it's stuff like that, right? So there was a lot of love for which it was funny too. So one of the other glitches I got to showcase for the first time in like a live setting was the floating item glitch, where you summon a fruit in front of Tor's forehead for the rest of the run that auto skips certain cutscenes for you. And so after the run, someone without saying a word to me just walks up to me and hands me this sticker of the jumping fruit.
That's actually
and gives it to me, says nothing, and leaves. It was awesome.
Amazing. That's quality, right?
There was like and like people would just like, and this has happened in the past with like other PAXs where it's just like people come up to you and are like, that was really impressive. I really enjoyed it. Or it was like, oh, I'm going to go try that game now. You've inspired me to go try and play it casually. There was even someone who gave me like a little, like one of those like ribbons that you put on the bottom of your badge. That was like something, it's like some meme related to like the website of like letting your Neopet starve to death or something. It was really funny. So then after the run, me and fellow friend of the podcast who we have had on previously, go check out that episode, Gabby,
GTM,
aka Blackheart Wings. She was at the event as well. So Neopets themselves actually had like a booth in the expo floor, right? Where they were selling merch and they were also promoting like a game that had just come out that was like like a mini game collection, which I'll show you all in a second. But I'm wearing the shirt that I wore for my GDQ run, which is the I survived the Oubliette and the Neopets the Darkest Fairy, and all I got was this t-shirt. The one that Nestani, you have a version. You have the purple shorts
right
we
there.
wore for. Yeah, it's right over there.
In that closet.
Yeah.
Behind
So I was
the
wearing
Ariana
this
Grande
shirt.
vinyl album.
Oh,
Nice.
looks like Antarctica. Doesn't it kind of look like a blob? That's
Well,
sort of like
actually,
an-
you know
know
what?
what?
Now-
You're kinda spitting,
yeah. I'm smelling what you're stepping in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But anywho, so I'm wearing this shirt, right? And I roll up to the Neopets booth with Gabby, and I kid you, so the booth is actually like stationed by people who are like work on the website in some fashion. Maybe they're like a community manager or like an artist or like a narrative designer or something of that nature. Because believe it or not, the Neopets website is still going strong and has a pretty sizable community.
Oh.
But a couple of the people that were working the booth at that time like recognized my shirt and also just recognized me and the fact that I was doing the Neopets run at the speedrun stage, and they were like low-key kind of sad that they couldn't go watch it because they had to be at the booth, right? And so literally they were just like, do you want anything? And I'm like, okay, I'll take like a sticker. Sure.
I'll take your whole booth, actually.
So they didn't quite give me the whole booth, but they did give me a bunch of really nice stuff that I wanted to show you all. So I did ask for some stickers because, you know, they had like an Illison sticker who, if you've seen the speedrun before, Illison from Illison's Glade, very, very cute little sticker. And then
you never see that character in the speedrun. I've never seen that character before in my life.
No, you see her briefly. After you kill Nerfus.
Never seen it.
All right. And then you have this sticker right here of another one of the fairies.
Is that the darkest one or the widest one?
So this is Eudora. Looks similar to the darkest fairy, different person. It's complicated. Don't ask me how it works. I don't quite know.
Kingdom Hearts stuff right there.
Yeah.
Then they gave me like a sticker, a couple more stickers. They also gave me a lot of stickers, which I appreciate. I like stickers. They gave me like these really nice like raised like stickers. They kind of have some like texture to them.
Wow.
And like a whole set of them. They also gave me this poster as well. And you can see that like it's referencing the game up there as well, which is really freaking cool.
That's sick.
So I got this poster as well. And they also gave me a copy of the minigame collection on PS5 for free.
Whoa!
I have.
What?
Are you gonna speedrun
literally
on your PS5 that you own?
Yeah, for real.
Well, I do have a PS5.
Oh, you do? Oh, shit. Okay.
So
I
sorry. I know
you
the
were
joke you were
poor.
trying to
That's
go
my
for. Damn, thanks. But
he's got a PS5 Pro. Rob his house now.
All of this to say that by the time I got back up to the speedrun stage, just, you know, to kind of stash my stuff so I didn't lose track of it, I almost cried, low key, because I am so not used to people caring, like, if that makes sense. At least from like a dev support standpoint, if that makes sense. You know, like Frog Monster, for example, like I know the dev pretty well. We've played Archipelago Randomizer together, but like that's not the same thing as like a company like Neopets, right? Like recognizing that you were playing the game and just like celebrating the fact that you were speedrunning it and showing it to people, even though game came out in like 2005 and it's like past the 20th anniversary of it, you know? So again, huge shout outs to like, especially TNT Renesmee, who got me situated with a lot of, you know, the free stuff, obviously, but also just everyone from that team for just being so nice to me. I was just absolutely blown away. And I'm going to ride that high for a long time. I can't emphasize like how, I don't want to say unusual that is, but just like, they went really out of their way to be supportive of what I was doing, and that really meant a lot to me. So huge shout outs to them. So that's kind of all with regards to like the run I did and kind of the circumstances around it. Me and my friend of the people, Richard, GDQ Richard, we went to the Neopets Dev Q&A panel as well. I should have asked them if we're getting a Darkest Fairy remake, but I was too shy. But as is per previous PAXs, we've got
he's
another
got some fucking garbage cans.
episode.
God damn it, bro.
Everyone's favorite segment, which is Jaxler's Retro Haul.
Can we have that shit flash on screen like fucking Daily Double? Like, pew, 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 pew.
I don't have a graphic for that. That's all you. You got it.
Oh my goodness
I ain't doing that
gracious.
shit.
What if I provide you one? What if I?
You know, I might remember to do it. I don't even put our name tags on that you made, so that was
That's
dead
true.
since
Already
like
that.
episode 6.
First episode. That was episode 1, bro. Pretty sure.
So
that
we
was
got a
episode
decent
1.
bit of these to talk about. Most of these are actually original Xbox games, and most of these I picked up for like $10 a pop. So I was just like, this will be funny. That was the major theme. So
All right, let's take a look.
So first
If
one I
this
got
doesn't
actually a
make me
GameCube
laugh,
game.
we're firing you and getting a new person on the podcast.
Okay, great.
Wow.
So we've got World Tour for the GameCube. This is like if Tony Hawk had you riding a scooter instead of a skateboard. You know all those scooter kids that everyone is super mean to on like social media? This is like if the scooter gamers got their own like Tony Hawk game, like pro skater game.
It looks like the Vex guy, but grown up.
I hate that you're
kind
right.
of spitting, honestly.
I hate that you're right.
2 for 2. My God.
What can I say?
He's finally being funny. No,
This
I'm
is
joking.
crazy.
This
It's
is
a
a
miracle.
game. Next up, this is a game that I've actually been looking for a copy of for a while. It's Metal Arms: Glitch in the System. This is a like over-the-shoulder third-person shooter game that like the vibes on this game are just immaculate. And on the speedrun.com page, actually, it has like the most documentation under like the SRC guides tab I have ever seen. It is frankly way too much time on their hands, even for someone like me. It's just like every single level, every single strat, or like they have like the glossary of like what does RTA mean? What does gold split mean? Like unbelievably well documented. It's kind of wild. But yeah, I've been looking for a copy of this for a minute. Definitely would like to run this at some point. And now let's go through the garbage pile of Xbox games. So
I thought we were already
a
there.
couple of these. No, Metal Arms is a good game. I can confirm that. This one I saw. This one doesn't have an SRC page. Very good sign. It's called Nightcaster: Defeat the Darkness. Only on Xbox.
game.
So we got another OG Xbox exclusive. The sequel to this game has an SRC page, but the first game doesn't. So I'm very
Nightcaster
curious to
2,
see why. I think this is like an action adventure type of game. I might be wrong.
It
might
looks
just be
quite
more of
similar to like Gauntlet Legends or the Gauntlet series,
Yeah.
basically.
So
I'm gonna tell
that'll
you
be
why.
an experiment.
I'm gonna tell you why
sorry,
it
go
doesn't
ahead.
have an SRC page because
That'll be interesting to find out.
It's because his game looks like ass. Is probably why.
Probably.
But
the sequel
W
anyway.
ass.
All right. Now, Cosmic will probably recognize this game, and ball knowers in the
boy.
speedrunning community will recognize this as
I
one
will
of the
not
most
recognize
famous GDQ speedruns ever.
No, beautiful Joe.
2 Worlds
Beautiful.
1 cup.
for the Xbox 360.
oh, fucking 2 worlds, dude.
Fucking 2 Worlds. The game that was supposed to be the Oblivion killer. The game that was supposed to put Bethesda out of
yeah.
business. This game is shit.
This
But the
fucking
any
video
percent
game.
run is really short and really funny. The final boss just like appears like in the game world, and you get him to attack like a villager, and an entire small village turns against the final boss and kills him for you, and it rolls
awesome.
credits.
so good,
It's
dude.
awesome.
That's fire.
And I really want to like learn how to do that because I think it'd be really funny.
You know, that's
And
on
so I
PC,
also found a
right?
copy of the sequel, which is supposedly better.
Worlds
But
2?
I thought like if I get 2 Worlds 1, I have to get 2 Worlds 2 as it follows.
What
Yeah.
about 3 worlds?
3
I
worlds.
was gonna
No,
say, isn't
doesn't exist.
Isn't 2 sets of 2 worlds 4 worlds?
4 5?
No, it's just like I don't know.
6?
This is hurting my scapula.
Apparently, the any percent run for this is like 53 minutes or something.
For 2 Worlds 2?
Yeah, it's like 53 minutes.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a future submission. Okay.
well,
Okay.
you know that both of these are on PC, right?
Well, these are going to get added to the next Secret Santa shitty game exchange.
Oh, that was a quick.
Abandonware.com.
I will also say that in my defense, I only spent like $5 a piece on the two on each
Yeah,
of
that's
them.
fine.
So
That's
$10 total for the 2.
Yeah.
They're really
They call
funny.
that a 10 for 2 deal. 2 for 10.
I appreciate the
for
dichotomy of the 5th place No, there's a 3-way tie on Two Worlds for 5th place.
For any percent?
Yeah, for any percent. Well, there's a guy whose name is Mon, M-O-N, which is like, okay, whatever a name. So, and then
It's like Pokemon.
the duality
you
of
take
man
out the
here.
Poke.
The duality of man here that happens is the next guy is called the Awesome Guy, and then directly underneath him is Jay the Idiot. So
Nice. That's good.
yeah.
All right. So we got. Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was good. I'm done. Yep.
Okay, cool. So the last of the
Last
OG
of Us?
Xbox slot that we've got, not the end of the pile, but the end of the Xbox pile, we have Galleon, also an
Galleon,
Xbox
bro.
exclusive. So apparently, this game was made by an ex-Tomb Raider dev who left the company and made his own studio, who then went on to make Galleon, and then the company disappeared also to the face of the earth, I think? I don't know.
Yeah.
But 3D action adventure that was made by a Tomb Raider dev, this sounds like a disaster, and I really want to try it. So there's that.
favorite
Did you just
part
insult
about
all the Tomb Raider
speedrun-
devs, or?
No,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
it was an ex-Tomb Raider dev who went to make their own studio.
Mm. So
My
just
favorite
the
part
one
about the
Tomb Raider
speedrun leaderboard, the speedrun leaderboard for this game has one run on of it that's nearly 5 hours.
Ooh.
Oh my
Caption
God.
the caption says this run was performed in a Finnish speedrunning charity event called, and then it's a Finnish word that I cannot pronounce, and I'm not going to butcher it.
Do it. Pronounce it, please. Be racist for us on
And
the
then,
podcast.
and then you click on it, and the channel's gone. So
Nice.
there's no video, bro.
The Finnish population has been wiped off of Twitch.
There
With a
and
pipe
the guy.
bomb.
So speaking of wiped off the face of the earth, the person who submitted this run, their name is Napalmy, and they have not logged into SRC in 3 years. They signed up a year ago,
Damn.
or 4 years ago.
They
and
fell
they haven't
off.
signed in 3 years. Yeah,
We gotta be able to break this game. That's the thing. There's gotta be some
Definitely.
bullshit.
Or it's
There's
Assassin's
gotta be
Creed and it's
something.
Gotta
unbreakable.
get SpongeBob back.
Which would also be really funny, but for like,
That
you
would
know,
also
in
be
the
pretty funny.
negative direction.
Yeah.
Um,
Facts, yeah.
Two more things that I picked up. One I'm very happy about. One I'm not very happy about, which we'll talk about. The one I'm very happy about is I got a cart of Rocket Robot on Wheels. This is a 3D platformer exclusive to the N64. This is kind of a cult classic on the library, and I've never been able to find a copy of this. So,
Oh, that's pretty dope.
yay!
No.
So this was probably like all of these were each like $5 to $10 a piece. This I had to shell out a little bit more for just 'cause, again, it's an N64 game, but cart's also in like really good shape. The
He
stickers
spent
in really good shape.
$537 on that cartridge.
That is not even remotely close to how much I spent on it.
So it's a bit more.
Oh, sorry.
No,
he
way
spent
less.
$13,503.
Way less.
He bought a used car, or he bought that. Pick and choose.
No. That's no. The much more interesting and much more unfortunate thing that I bought was a complete in-box copy of Diabetor. So, what the fuck is Diabetor? So, this
Retro
is
That's
a
good.
this
That's
is a
pretty good,
physical
dude.
copy of. If you go, there's also a version of this on Steam that was released in 2023, has no reviews, which is wild. So nobody bought that shit. This was apparently also Kickstarter backed as well, and so this is a like diabetes like I guess edutainment like 2D platformer on the Game Boy Color.
Bro said
so-
edutainment. I'm going to die.
Yeah, that's a real word.
I'm going to perish.
I want everyone to take a look at the cover of this very carefully. You may notice that our Captain Diabedor here, I think is his name.
And
I
the
don't know if I
sugar
he
care.
looks just like Jax.
No, not at all. You'll notice that he doesn't really have hands. I didn't really notice this until I got a closer look or like really kind of sat with it because I just thought this shit was so funny that
I thought he's got his hands on his like belt or whatever.
his hands merge into his belt. This is very, very likely to be generative AI art, especially if you take a closer look at like some of the backgrounds.
It does have a Steam page.
And then I'm gonna cover up like the back part of it because so there's two gameplay photos here, right? The bottom photo is just a picture of the dev and his wife and child. I'm not going to show that on camera
Dox
because
them
I
live
don't
on camera.
want
Let's
to
go.
dox them.
Hell yeah. They dox themselves. Show it. Let's go.
But
They put it out there.
further opening this up, I'm
Oh no,
I
it's
like
not
how-
reducing the value.
Dude,
I
what are
opened
you
it earlier already.
doing?
Oh my
It's
God,
not
he
mint
ruined the
anymore.
Here's what the
Oh, it's a
here's
Game
what the
Boy
cart
game.
looks. It's a Game Boy Color game where it just says game on the plastic. That's how you know it's that good.
What if
shit.
it just said? What if it just
Play-Go.
said boy instead? like
And then
boy.
here's
Wait,
the
that's actually
instruction
kinda crazy.
manual, which is stapled in such a way that it's not even correctly, like, all the pages aren't aligned, so they're like slightly out of line. And it feels to hold in your hand. You know when you're like holding like a photo that was printed, like
No.
Polaroid.
not like on printer paper, but like an actual like photograph.
Oh yeah, the glossy.
And it's kind of like
Oh.
filmy
Look at
and
this crap.
glossy.
Yeah.
It feels like that on the outer cover. And again, on the back cover, I have it covered with the base of my thumb. They put the dev put a photo of him with his like child on the back.
They just like their child, bro. You got a problem with that?
And
You got a
so
problem with this child?
at the
Are you
very
afraid
start
the
of
child's gonna beat your world record?
when you beat
no, I am not.
when you beat
I
the
am
game,
worried about embarrassing this child, like
Are you gonna
however
ban
many
the way
years
this
in the
child
future.
When they
plays the
beat-
game
when you-
with a controller or a keyboard?
when you beat Diabetor, instead of the credits, it just shows the guy's family tree, and it just scrolls up on the
It's just a little shrub. No, but
Oh my God.
I
It's a
wanted
tiny
to
shrub.
a couple things about this manual before I'm done. There's a controls and then a message from the creator at the start. I just want to read like the first line. A message
That's
from the
gonna be it
creator.
for the podcast. That would have been fine.
I want any diabetic that plays this game to remember something. ...
Right.
You have diabetes.
Oh my god! What?
Whoa!
Did you know that, Jax?
I didn't.
Oh my god!
I also want to shout out the fact as well. It includes recipes in the fact, and I quote, "The following few pages contain some amazing recipes we found online and enjoy regularly." And these recipes also are most likely Gen AI as well. Just based on the fact that they use like 18 tablespoons of flour, and they're all also keto as well. It's just...
So
Yeah,
I have one request here, Jax. So keep the manual open first of all, right? So when
Okay.
I typed in Diabetor on YouTube,
Yeah.
the first thing that popped up was
Uh-oh.
a channel name by the name Diabetor, and it has as the profile picture Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. So could you read the
saw
developer's
this.
message in the Bane voice?
Yeah,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know if I can do the Bane's the Bane voice very well. I'll just
Yeah, you
can I
can.
just do like a deep
No,
voice?
no, you have to do the Bane
Well, that
voice.
one.
Go ahead.
No, you like the
We're
Tom
waiting.
Hardy one specifically.
Tom
Yeah.
Hardy Bane voice.
I want any I don't actually really
Go
know
for
what
it.
the
Yeah,
Bane
yeah,
voice
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
like.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
go
yeah.
for it.
Diabetes to know. If you're playing Diabetor, you have diabetes.
Is that what it sounds like? I can okay, I can hit that.
Yeah.
I want any diabetic that plays this game to remember something. You have diabetes. Diabetes doesn't have you. This is a controllable disease, and yes, it does make things more difficult sometimes, but that only makes us stronger and more resilient. Good God, that sentence needs a fucking comma somewhere.
That's a run-on
I
sentence.
am living proof that you can lead a healthy, long life with a successful career, wonderful family, and not miss out on anything.
Yeah,
Do
Bane.
not let
Yeah.
do
I
not
love
let,
you, Bane. Yeah.
Oh my
it's so
God.
beautiful.
Do not ever let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Never let diabetes be your excuse, and take full responsibility for your choices. If you choose to make poor food choices, not exercise, and not manage your insulin regimen, then you will absolutely have complications in a life filled with setbacks and limitations.
Yeah. Yeah. This sounds like a
However,
threat.
there is a second path that allows you to achieve everything a non-diabetic can and more. The fact that you now will be making better food choices, exercising, and paying close attention to your body inherently means you'll be healthier than your average non-diabetic American. That is... Moving on. Okay.
You think the diabetes?
This is Thomas one page. What is happening? Are we done? Holy shit!
This is all on the second page.
Dog.
At the time of publishing this game, I will be almost 40 years old, and I see non-diabetics in my same age group who have abused their bodies for half their life, who look 25 years my senior, and have the same abilities of someone 25 years their senior. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say there.
Stop yapping, Bane, please. You activated the camera.
This disease doesn't define you. This disease doesn't define you. You define yourself. End of paragraph.
No, Bane, they can't do that.
Oh my god, there's another 2 pages.
That's the end of the podcast. Shut the fuck
outta
up.
here.
Goodbye.
No, I'm done.
We're leaving now forever.
Holy
We're not
shit.
letting him read
I'm
anymore.
insulin from the Gotham Walgreens. I'm going to steal all the insulin from Batman.
Honestly, I just thought that. I thought you were just gonna read like the first like sentence or two, like
yeah.
And then you just kept
You
going.
told me to read the first page.
No, he
and
said
the
No, I said
people-
the first message. I said the first message.
He said sentence.
The message wasn't clear.
Look how
It is
I
cool
wanted
that it's
to
a
miss
physical
it.
game,
Oh my
though.
god, yo!
Bro.
Because
I can't believe Tyler typed all
See,
that.
I thought you were just gonna cut it off, so I thought you were gonna just be like, "I want every diabetic playing Diabetor to remember one thing:
Oh, that's the
you
rest.
have diabetes," and then just leave it at that.
And then
dude.
we were going to
Like-
close the podcast, and then it just kept going. And I was like, all
Like
right.
Bane
I'm
in the
sorry,
football
I had
field.
to. People had to
He
know
full
how
se-
horrible this guy's writing is.
I respect full sending it though. That's
Yeah, you really
Fair
committed
enough,
to that.
yeah.
And I committed to listening,
I thought-
I guess.
I thought you were gonna tap out, honestly. So like props.
No, I was committed.
know?
I was egged on, and I was committed to the bit. And again, I paid money for more diabetes. That's the lesson at the end of this. I paid real American dollars for more diabetes. So
That's fact.
that's gonna be the gonna be the
let's
end
send
of
it.
this episode of Jaxler's Retro Store Haul, and also the end of this episode of the podcast. Thank you all so much for listening in this time. Does
do we have
anybody
anything
have
else?
anything going on?
Yeah. Anybody have anything going on?
The Sony is panning the camera.
That's true.
Nope. I think the science just checked out.
I don't know what the
I don't
fuck
blame
I'm
him. That was
doing
rough.
lately on stream. I'm still playing Resident Evil Requiem. We'll see how far I go with that. We'll see if I go back to something different. I don't know. Every day I wake up and there's a new hellscape fresh and ready for me. So we'll see how I feel on those different days. You know, maybe it'll be Vanquish. Maybe it'll be something not that.
The girl
you
reading
know.
this.
It was nice to see you again today. Anyway, so
Yeah.
maybe
Jesus Christ.
maybe it'll be Devil May Cry. I don't know, but yeah, I got stuff going on, kind of. Yeah. And either of you have anything?
Yeah, there was a new Legacy of Kain game that just came out. When I am no longer having the con cred, I will probably stream it.
Defiance remaster, right?
No, it's a brand new game called
Oh,
Ascendance.
right.
It's
yeah,
the 2D
I
Metroid.
forgot
It's a
about
2D
that.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, sick, dude. I do
I do want to play
so
Defiance
sad.
Remaster as well, but
I'm still so sad that Dead Sun got canceled, but whatever. I'm sure I'll be there for you to stream
Cole.
Ascendance. Cole.
Yeah, Cole, what do you got going on?
Surely I'll actually post my video
He won't.
about Wii Bowling.
He won't.
I want to.
He's not going to. He's just
Hey,
lying to you.
Nico, let's go bowling. Sorry, I had to
All
do
right,
that.
bye.
Goodbye, podcast viewers.
Get the fuck out of here! Oh god damn it, my camera's fucking.
You know,
All right, goodbye.
Ra's al Ghul had diabetes as well.
John Hammond was a I don't know.
The eternal pit was actually full of insulin, and that's how.
All right, let's just end this shit. I'm stop recording.